做得到。Highland Park 总店095329777。
好的，时间来到了早上的9点13分，欢迎大家继续回到节目当中。这一环节是 WTV 大选聚焦环节，特别感谢以下的商家支持 ：CMC Markets 随心交易受大选影响的金融产品，沙克巴世界上唯一的野生冰水刺参。
好的，那么时间来到早上的9点13分，欢迎大家再度回来。我爱纽西兰啊，2020中华电视网大选聚焦。那么今天早上呢，很高兴啊，是再度的能够邀请到这个
茶党
Tea Party 茶党的2位啊，这个 co-leader 共同这个党魁来到我们这个节目上，星期五的早晨，那么会跟大家聊一些什么呢？那么大家现在在电视机上呢，我们会介绍一位新的一位女士来到我们节目，不过不是由我来介绍啊，由她自己啊，向这些观众朋友们呢来进行这一方面的这个介绍。我们先把这些画面给打出来，她是谁呢？她是 Susanna。 Welcome to the program, Susanna. Welcome to the program, John. John HONG 呢，大家应该对他到现在为止呢不会陌生的，对不对啊？已经来到我们这个节目上好几次了，有粉丝了吗？
不少，在路上也很多人在打招呼。
I'm just asking John if he has any fans by now. You see, after all these days of trying to catch up with all the voters outside. But anyway, Susanna, welcome to the program. So now, first of all, you are the co-leader of the Tea Party. Okay,
yes, indeed.
And I'd like you, first of all, to introduce yourself to our audiences and viewers, please.
Well, I'm Susanna KRUGER. I grew up on a 10,000-hectare cattle and goat farm on the western edge of Africa's Kalahari Desert.
Western edge of Africa. Which country was that?
Namibia. So
Namibia,
yeah, Southwest Africa. And I'm 20 years in New Zealand.
Okay, what actually brought you here?
Well, at the time I thought schooling actually, and just to give my children the passport to the rest of the world, because I was afraid that if I stayed in Africa too long, then it will become more and more difficult for my children to travel the world.
Sure. So you actually came as an immigrant.
Yeah.
The purpose of coming to New Zealand was, to provide a very safe environment for your kids to study here. And after 20 years, and I understand, yesterday when I read your Facebook page, I understand that you were one of the candidates for the 2019 Auckland Mayor. That was at the time when you knew John, was it?
Yes, we met.
Both of you were
mayor candidates.
Yeah.
mayor candidates at the time. 2019, that was last year. Yeah. What actually motivates you to participate the mayoral racing then?
For me, that was just a warm-up.
Was okay.
I just
try to gain some experience.
Yeah, I've always known that I'm more interested in central government politics than local government. But to learn how the system works and so on, I decided to put my name in the hat just to get exposure and build a bit of momentum.
And now, what actually motivates you to form a Tea Party with John?
Well,
it is a political party.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, with John, we clicked right from the beginning on the campaign trail, and I think we, as migrants, we have had similar experiences in New Zealand, and we both have a passion for being able to contribute to New Zealand to everything we can. And for that purpose, we said, look, let's put all of our ideas together and form this political party, because we can really make a big difference for migrants and for the entire, even for Kiwis in New Zealand. So that's where it came from.
On Wednesday, when I interviewed Vincent and Noel, they both talk or touch a little bit with regards to inequalities in New Zealand, in this country. Do you believe this country or especially when you compare to your own hometowns before. New Zealand do you actually consider New Zealand as a country that has a kind of like serious inequalities problem?
Yeah, I must say, you know, I'm a white woman, but I'm a migrant, but I've really experienced discrimination here tremendously.
In what way?
Just in finding a job, for instance,
Okay.
because my accent is heavy, and the moment you read my CV, you know, you can see I'm not from here. So, and even I felt that if I went into what they call Pākehā areas, then there's certain discriminations. Then when you go into a Maori area, there's other discrimination. So I felt often that in the Pākehā area I was too foreign, and in the Maori area I'm too white.
Okay.
So I felt discrimination from both sides.
After 20 years, the feeling is still strong?
Yeah, I mean, even during the mayoral campaign and so on, when you dare to say, like on Neighbourly, you say the changes that you want to bring, then people will comment and say, go back to your country.
Okay.
You know, after 20 years in the country, or at that stage, you know, 19 years, and people say to you, go back to your country, it's basically just that they have no idea that you have invested everything you ever had here, and there is no chance anymore to really go back to your country, isn't it?
So forming a political party, do you think that's that is you can find some sort of solutions in that?
Oh yeah, I think just the fact that we have put together this political party, of which one of the pillars is diversity, is years ago when they began talking about this unitary plan, I always said, oh, we don't need a unitary plan, we need a diversity plan. And so I really feel that the Tea Party is that diversity plan, because if we can make that you know, successful, to show how we of different ethnicities can work together, and we grow it so that we can cover ethnicities of the whole world, you know, living in New Zealand and including Kiwis and so on, then that is the diversity plan, how we can show that we can actually run a multicultural country instead of a bicultural.
But we also understand that, you know, like the only way to improve the situation that you have mentioned is to change the law. And one way to change the law is you have to be able to get into the parliament to do that. Okay, so the next question is, what makes you believe that the Tea Party will be able to cross the threshold this time?
Well, I mean, there's 1.2 million migrants, so if we get 10% of that vote, then we have the 5% to get in Parliament.
It's not quite enough. Or if you talk about, you know, like the latest figure shows about 3.5 million of registered voters, and so 5% of that you need about 150, 160,000.
Yeah. But okay, we have, if I just look at my own network and so on, of course I have spoken, you know, I've campaigned a lot with the South African market. I also, because we have the policy of Kiwi family restoration that has to do with the family courtons, that is quite a huge network that we're tapping in, plus then the migrant network. And there are a lot of Kiwis that are for multiculturalism, that accept that sort of thing, and I hope that we also got our message through to them.
Okay, so apart from discrimination, what are the issues that you can think of that the migrants are most concerning in this country?
At the moment, immigration is a big problem because there are many migrants currently in the country, already here on visas, on work visas, that and now the government is not processing any residency applications anymore. So those people are sitting here, they are here on skills, in the skills category, on skilled visas, work visas. And because the government is not processing the residency applications, they face becoming overstayers, losing their visas, not being able to go back to their country anymore. So that is a big problem. So and that's just one area in the immigration.
What about jobs and securities and housing?
Yeah, jobs, of course, is a problem, but that's why we have the policy. For instance, one of our policies is to bring like project-based business visas, allow that, and where someone can invest, say, a business year of 2 million or whatever, and then also provide employment. We have another policy to bring back manufacturing to New Zealand. So all of those policies can create jobs here that then actually work and provide not just for the immigrants here, but for Kiwis.
You call, and both of you actually call yourself, or the Tea Party, a center-right political party. You might, one day, you might have to work with, like, say, for example, parties like National or the App Party. What do you think of the App Party? They propose a tax cut, like, say, for example, cutting the GST down to 10%, and also have a kind of like one-off like tax rate at 17.5% for income tax. Do you agree with that? Both of you? John,
did you want to answer?
Actually, one flat rate is very difficult to implement, because although all human beings are born equal, but in fact, in reality, they are not equal in different. Each one is individual, different. So different people have different income. So 17.5 might be low for some people, but extremely high and impossible for the other low-income families, especially in New Zealand.
So a flat rate, you guys won't disagree with a flat rate?
It doesn't work.
It won't work?
It won't work in New Zealand. A lot of people actually, 70,000 salary is a high bank already. Then how can we afford to pay for more than
What about GST? Do you believe that cutting down the GST from 15 to 10% will help some of the lower income families?
I would certainly want to see a decrease on GST for food and other essential household items. That can certainly help families.
For daily necessities, it's quite horrible. Actually, I was delivering pantries and went into the grocery. Actually, I haven't been to Asian grocery for 10 years about that. So when I check some basic, normally in New Zealand, the beef and lamb is quite affordable. But I checked the same price for shank. Many years ago, it's $8.9 a kilo. Now it's $18.99. So however high you increase the salary, you can never keep up with the increase of the food. So regarding the daily necessity, I think they need to...
The living cost is undoubtedly getting more and more expensive this year. And part of the reason it could be because of the fuel costs, because of the GST or whatsoever. But the next question I'd like to ask you, Susanna, is this time, apart from the normal elections, the voters are also dealing with 2 referendums. All right. In your opinion, do you actually support the euthanasia, and if you also support the legalization of cannabis?
Look, as a party, we've made a stand against the legalization of recreational cannabis. Just because we believe that there's enough social issues and social problems that the country is facing with at the moment to just add to that. Personally, the euthanasia we decided that will be a conscience vote. We each decide what we want. Personally,
have you decided?
I've campaigned against.
You campaigned against euthanasia?
Against euthanasia.
That's interesting. Can you tell me about it?
Because I work with families closely and legal and court proceedings and so on, so I work a lot with things like, bullying and abuse and assault and that sort of thing. And the way I see euthanasia is that it will just be another thing that puts a lot of pressure on certain individuals where you feel guilty, you have to give in under the pressure of the family because they want the money or they, they want you out of the way so they don't have to go to hospital every day, that sort of thing. So I just believe from a mother's perspective, a woman of the family, that for me, I can't go along with
You don't believe
euthanasia.
people deserve a choice?
Look, I do believe that, yes, we live in a world where we have to give people choices, but I feel this is where we have also the choice to vote, and I will certainly vote against it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically you will vote against both referendums?
Yeah, yes.
What about you, John?
I'm strongly against cannibal. So no doubt about it.
大麻你绝对不要让它合法化。
Never ever. It's my opinion.
Have you tried it before?
Never in my life.
Never in your life.
The idea of thinking of smoke it make me sick.
Okay.
Yeah. So running for the mayor campaign last year, I'm strongly.
You only
against
drink
it.
tea.
I drink tea all my life. Yeah. Good for health.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody to drink tea. Regardless of your political background, I think tea is really good for health and for the environment, for human being as well.
Okay, so
Of course, welcome to join Tea Party in the future.
yeah. Well, so what about euthanasia? Or do you actually support or you oppose?
This is a very difficult question to answer because with the changing of world, a lot of families facing different issues. Like some of the family is a single child family, for example. Then if the people are physically already dormant or already dead for 10 years, it creates huge trouble not only to the family but to all the relatives around.
It actually causes a lot of burden.
Burden to all the next generations. If they do not come to look after the senior, that's against the morality and other things. If they want to be there, then their job, their work, their family strongly, severely affected.
So you support or you against?
Well, how
You
to...
got to give me an answer.
I haven't decided yet.
You haven't actually decided yet.
I haven't, or to be frank.
You don't want to tell us.
Yeah, it's a huge challenging issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. But okay, that's really about all. I'd like to find out from both of you this morning. I'm really glad to see you here, Susanna. Now, I have another minute for you. What else do you want to say to our viewers or listeners?
Yes, for me, it's really just, I think John and I, like I said, we met just over a year ago, and I really think that we create that perfect balance.
Wonderful, great, yeah.
Yes, and we have what it takes to not only help migrants but Kiwis alike, and we need everybody's vote to get us in Parliament because we have a lot to offer.
Correct. We do care about our country. We do care about this country, just like we run for the mayoral campaign. We know it's very difficult to get elected for the first go, but we need to open the minds and eyes for all the New Zealanders. Currently, 1/5 of the people are new migrants one way or another. So the country need to include this kind of people, utilize their resources, thinking, intelligence, talent for a better New Zealand in the future. That's why we set up this New Zealand Tea Party, which is really to really reflect the current New Zealand. Yeah.
So you guys are actually offering a different choice, a different voice for people to choose.
Correct.
Yeah,
the other
absolutely.
parties, it's difficult for them to think out of the box because of the tendency in nature they've been thinking that way for the last 50 or 100 years. This country needs some new fresh water, new blood, new thinking to make open the eyes for the people for better choice.
Okay, I thank you both for coming to this program and have a good weekend.
Thank you,
Thank you
Andrew.
very
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
各位朋友，大家周末过得愉快。
好。
真正新西兰野生刺身就要找沙巴名牌海产品。
要出租找阳光，要租房找阳光，阳光物业更专业。电话09-390-3883。
伊苏 Mount Wellington 新店10月开业了，大师6只手，按到不想走，玉手织物按摩椅为您健康做得到。Highland Park 总店09-532-9777。